Hey, hey. Hey. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is Aurélien, and we will be talking about Fedora infrastructure applications today, as usual. So welcome, everyone. Let me organize a bit my screen a little bit. At the moment, it's kind of messy. Hey, hey, hey. How are you doing, Lisa? So that should go here. All right. Nice to see you here. How are you doing? I hope the sound is okay. All right. That's all good. I'm good. Sound is good for you. That's perfect. Okay. Let me turn down the volume a bit so that. Yes. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. So, what do we have today? Well, you know the drill. I'm gonna share the screen. There you go. All right. So yeah, that's the usual page. Let me refresh that to make sure that I'm not missing. So in the Fedora infrastructure news, we've had this week quite a few issues with our IPA cluster, the system that handles authentication for us. And so we were trying to upgrade it to a newer version of RHEL that is running it. And we've tested that on staging, and on doing that on production, we've had something that we didn't expect. And that, so we have 3 servers, and it took almost the whole server cluster down. Then we managed to bring one up. So there was one server handling the entire load, which was not sufficient. So we've had tons of issues and replicating it to the new servers that we brought up. Anyway, it should be back to normal, but it took us a good part of the week to set that up between people in the Fedora infrastructure team and people in the free IPA team. Alexander Boker, for example, who has been very helpful for us. Flo as well. Michael or Mikhail, maybe, I'm not sure. Himes, who's been helping us as well. Lots of people, so props to them. Thank you very much. It would have been much more complex if we didn't get the support from the free IPA project, and that was extremely helpful. So, yeah, thanks to all of you. And I think it's now back to normal. I think we've fixed one issues this morning, so I mean, it looks good, but it's hopefully it's working. So doing that, I was mentioning that because, well, it's news, and also because doing that we discovered a few issues that could have been done in Noggin and FastJSON, for example, that would have made things easier for us. So I'll mention that when I go over them today in the easy fixes, because some of them are quite easy to fix. So, yep. So, all right, so let's go through the page. Let's go straight to the Fedora Infra group and see what we have here. This has been there for a while. This is refactoring. Not sure it's very interesting for a stream. So that's an issue. Add a page to list all the topic that I've opened last week, and I thought it might have been a useful addition to Data Grapper to show people a list of the topics in a period of time. I thought it would be a small page because I thought that all the topics were kind of similar, but actually they aren't. There are some applications that publish two topics that contain the name of the package they are not updating, but touching. And as a result, there might be tens of thousands of different topics because there are thousands of packages. So, well, tens of thousands of packages, maybe tens, at least a good number of thousands of packages. So, yeah, that's clearly a lot. So you can have a ton of topics, and this page wouldn't have been as easy as I thought it would be. It will require some limitations on the time delta that you want to search into the database. So, I mean, it can still be done. It's not as easy as I thought it would be and not as useful, but it can still be done. So, yep, that's one of the things. I used to have a list of I have a list of the topics. So let me list that. Is that, that's the Data Grapper topic list. Okay, it's in there. Cool. FastJSON now. So in FastJSON, and I remember it because I think that I had this bad idea. Instead of listing the free API servers in the configuration, I thought that we could just reuse a place on the system where the free API server is already listed, which is the etc IPA default.conf file. This configuration file contains it's an INI file. It's very simple to parse, and it contains the name of the server. So I thought, yeah, why duplicate that information to another configuration file that might get out of sync with the other one? So we'll just pick it from here. Except when you have a cluster of many, like 3 IPS servers, in this file you only find one of them, which means that all the free FastJSON traffic is going to only one of the servers. And if you want to bring one down to have the other two handle the load, then, well, you'd better not have that server in FastJSON's configuration. So yeah, FastJSON should just use DNS to find the IPA server's address instead of having that in a configuration file. Anyway, so that's one of the things that we could work on. Let me list that in my file. This one has been done. So FastJSON, use DNS to find the API server address. Pretty simple. All right, FedImage, no, that's being deprecated. FedMessage, obsolete. This one as well. FedMessaging, that's old stuff. FMN still have the same things. Oh, that's the, yeah, this one has been assigned to me, but I actually asked a question there, and I'm waiting for an answer, I think, if I remember correctly. This one is already in my short list. This one as well. This one is definitely not new. Yeah, there's 2 things on Noggin that we could have a look at. The first one is pretty similar to what FastJSON has. Currently, the list of IPS servers is in the Noggin configuration file, which is nice because at least there are several of them there. All 3 servers are listed. And we just pick one of them as random from the list and use that for the connections. On each connection, obviously, it's not like one when you start up the server and you keep using that one. That would be bad. As a result, that means that if you want to bring one of the servers down, then you need to trim that list, remove the entries that are not relevant. So it should just use DNS so that we just update DNS when we want to do that, or like, well, it's just, yeah, it should use DNS as the rest. There is an easy query, DNS query that you could use to get the list of the of the servers. That's an SRV query, and it's looking for LDAP TCP on our domain, and it brings you the list that was in the configuration file. IID2 is an internal suffix, well, prefix actually, well, anyway, an internal domain part. When you are inside the infrastructure, you can see this, and you're outside, you can't. All right, so that's one. Let's add that to the list. Noggin, use DNS to list the IP servers, pretty similar to the other one. And the other one is Flask 3.00 support. It has already been worked on by AcacheDeep. I think I need to review that, basically. So yeah, it's about reviewing this one. Review this one. Well, actually, to be correct, I would need to do that. All right. Okay, that's a list. Tarrier is being rewritten, so yeah, nope. But server, same thing. Bugs that's fed message. This is already in my list, I believe. Yeah, that's here. This one waiting for an upgrade of the server. But Fedora, I think that's just a typo. Maybe not the most interesting thing to do. Is the lighting correct? I'm not sure. Let me turn on some lights. All right, that should make things easier. Okay. So Mabot Fedora, that's basically a typo. I think Ryan wanted to have a look at that, or take care of that. Moat is yes, that's one of the issues in Moat that I have opened recently. It's not bad, but yeah. Moat should take multi-lines into account. It's currently not doing that. And then same thing, there is another issue, and I think I already have that in my shortlist here. Navigation between minutes and logs. Moat is an interesting target to pick, because I've never touched the Moat code, so I would be discovering it at the same time as you would. And so yeah, would be a good example of how to contribute to an application that you've never seen before. So just do that. Okay. What else do we have? The other one, the next one is, it's already assigned, so I'm not gonna touch it. All right, documentation, footer links, auto links. Yeah, there's one for that already in my list, I think. Yeah, Linkify in Mode. Okay, good. Pagure exporter, that's being worked on. I'm gonna skip it. Release monitoring. Okay, RIT log. That's old stuff basically. Okay, what else do we have? Federal websites, free IPA. I don't think free IP has easy stuff. Maybe it does. That's actually pretty easy to do. That's interesting. Return 3 in replica. Okay, that's already assigned. Okay, cool. Epsilon. Nope. Pagure, I still have issues with running the Pagure tests, you know, the unit test. I'm still having issues doing that. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go through those now. I wanted to run those for the Pagure messages test, but anyway, so this one is assigned. I don't know what the status of it is. Besides that, I'll have a look. And this one is, I'm not sure what the status of this one is. I kind of remember something from it, but I'm not sure. Did I work on that already? Nah, I opened it. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's something that we could work on. push to a fork is considered as affecting the main package. That's an issue that has been raised in another infra ticket. And this one, yeah. Okay. All right. So in my shortlist, I have quite a few a few tickets that we could work on. I can only make a poll for 6 items. So I'm gonna divide that by application, I think. All right, let me try to open a poll. Okay, what we'll work on today? Bugs, okay, that's, yeah. So, mode is one of the things. And then we depending on the application that we choose, I'll pick other options. Data grepper, I can keep that one. That's topic list. Okay, that's cool. This one. FMN will be UI stuff, so it's basically TypeScript. And I have Noggin here. Noggin. IPA servers DNS query. There's data grepper and there's fastJSON that has the same stuff. Yeah, same thing for fastJSON. Oh yeah, and for Noggin there's also review the Flask 3.0 PR. Okay. I think I have everything that I wanted to capture. For mode, there's three options. Okay, I'm gonna start the poll. You should have that on your screen. And if you have any questions on what those options mean and what they consist in and what languages will be used and what the ticket is about, feel free to ask me in the chat and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. Also, chat is open for any questions, really. If you have anything that you want to discuss, I'm totally up for it. Well, I see there's a vote already. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you a couple minutes to decide. And in the meantime, I'm going to look at the chat. Who's there? Okay, let's know that. It's over 900. It's over 9,000, I mean. Let's go again. Okay, you can make the promotion for your own preference in the chat. That's fine as well. Well, Noggin is first right now, I can tell you that, but one person, one vote, so we'll see. I'm gonna wait until say 26 and then close the poll and we'll see. I can only tell the % of people who have voted for one option. So right now I see 100% on one of the options. But I can't tell if that means that there's one person who voted or 10 person who voted for the same thing. I need to start contributing to this stuff myself. Follow me to do my work. It's only fair that I give back. I feel limited since I only know C++ well. I do not, so there's a ton of C++ projects in Fedora. I think the biggest chunk, of course, is all the KDE stack for C++. But C and C++ used to be the dominant language for applications in Fedora. So if you know C and C++ and you have applications that you like in Fedora and that you use as packages or that you want to see packaged, it's always useful to know the language an application is written in when you want to package it, because sometimes there will be compilation failures because there's a new GCC version that comes in Fedora, and suddenly a ton of applications break because, I don't know, like a warning becomes an error or something, and it's all like all the compiler flags change, or that happens. And so it's always very useful to be able to fix the build of an application. I myself have tried quite a few times to fix build failures on C or C++ applications, and it's hard really when you don't know the language, and I do not know C or C++. Like I've written a couple lines when I was in school, but that's so long ago that I have forgotten it entirely. I don't really know how the auto tools work really, or how the things, how CMake works, even though CMake is a bit easier to understand. And I've tried to package a C++ application, not for Fedora, but for RPM Fusion, because it depends on FFmpeg. This application is called Performance. It's a game. It's a karaoke or GarageBand-like game, like a SingStar-like game, and yeah, I know FFmpeg is now in Fedora, so maybe Performance can get into Fedora, which will be great. So yeah, that would be. I think there's plenty of applications that are currently in RPM Fusions that we could bring to Fedora, since FFmpeg is now here. So that's really cool. Hey, by the way, how are you, Neil? I hope you're doing good. So it's the other way around for me. I contribute to applications like oh, that's cool, FlightGear contributor. I don't know about how distro package I could be helpful. Okay, so what you need to have a look at is the contributor guide, basically, the packager guide. I think for separate applications today, nowadays, of the present day, I would recommend having a look at Flatpaks instead. I would recommend checking out how you build applications in Flatpaks, and making and understanding the permissions models for something for something like a game like FlightGear. I think that would be a useful thing. It will bring the application to people in Fedora and people in other distributions that use Flatpaks as well. So yeah, I think that would be the most useful thing to do. I think it's the most future-proof thing to do. That said, understanding how RPM works is still interesting. Or rather, I find it interesting. But I've built a couple of Flatpaks, and yeah, I think there's good things in there as well. Also, it would make things easy to install on Fedora Silverblue and Kinoite and all the. From an RPM perspective, the Fedora packaging guidelines provide a good outline of the concern that upstream developers should care about. Yeah, I agree with that. That's always good to go through. Yeah, there's a ton of things in there, but not all of them apply to your package. Or for example, if you don't package a system service, then you don't need to really care about the systemd things. So it's a lot of information, but you can filter the things that don't apply to what you want to package. If you don't need to create a user for your thing, there's tons of scriptlets that you don't need to care about. So yeah, that's a very good start. I still think you should have a look at Flatpaks as well if you want to, if you're interested in that. I don't know if FlightGear is packaged as a Flatpak already. It might be. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so it is. Okay, cool. Yep. Ooh, so nice. So do you use it as a Flatpak in Fedora, or do you install the RPM? Nice. Okay, cool. We used it as a Flatpak already. Lugaru, I think that's the rabbit thing, right? If I remember well. Lugaru. I think I've played that. Yeah. Simple example of a game package in Fedora. Yep. Oh yeah, I think, yeah, we do have FlightGear already. So, but sometimes people who package a piece of software either lose interest or have too many things to do at the same time. So I think most of the people who package things in Fedora are welcoming help with their packaging. So even if it's already packaged, just, you know, send a message to the person or open a ticket or whatever and mention that you're interested as well. I know I have packaged a lot of things that were dependencies of the PCs that I wanted to package. And really, I'm not the best maintainer for that sort of thing because I don't really update unless my main package requires a new version. So things are becoming unmaintained more or less. And I'm always happy to give those packages to other people if they want to maintain it better than I do. All right, I've waited way too long. This poll is closed and the winner is Noggin. Yeah, absolutely. Maintenance should be shared. All right, so Noggin it is. Yay! So, let me get back to this. All right, use DNS to list the IP servers. Okay, that's it. All right, I'm gonna fix my own bug. That's always good. Let me resize that so it doesn't go over the chat. First thing, assign yourself to the ticket so that people don't work on it while you're working on it as well, and you end up with duplicated work. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that for now because you really don't want to look at this code. It's terrible. Yep. Okay. Well, you are not in chains here. You're welcome to leave and come back. I'm gonna, if you come back in like 7 minutes and you want to follow the Noggin development, I will explain explain a couple of things to other people maybe who want to know about Noggin, and get back to it and make sure you don't miss anything. Okay, what do we have? Noggin. Yes. That I'm pretty sure that it's way too small for you to read. Gonna zoom that in. All right, that should be much better. Of course, the split screen is less practical when you zoom in that much. Wait, what's going on here? Oh yeah, that's a comparison. Okay, let me clear all that stuff. Okay, I'm on the dev branch. It's all good. I want to fix issue 1357, so let me create a new branch. Fix 1357. All right, so what's the issue? Wait, no, there it is. So currently the list of IPS servers is in the configuration. Is it true? I'm pretty sure it is. That's the default values for the configuration, and surely enough, in there you will find okay, it's not. I thought I had put defaults for that in there, but maybe not. I'm pretty sure it's picked up in security IPA. Because I've changed that recently to fix a small issue with it. Free IPAC assert, that's not it. Free IPA servers. Okay. So this configuration value holds. Oh, it's not in the defaults. Well, it should have been. So, okay. That's one less thing that I will have to remove. Okay, so how do we choose how do we decide on the IPA server that we're going to use in Noggin? It's all going on in this choose server function in Noggin security IPA. And this function is called by some decorators, the maybe IPA session, maybe IPA login. They're all calling choose server. And what we're doing with that is use that as an argument for the client. And this client is an instance of, where is it? Yeah, it's like we have a subclass here to make small changes, like not things that are a bit specific to us, like the fast agreement things, etc., etc. But basically, it's coming from the client meta in Python 3 IPA. Okay, so what is that? That's the clients that we're using to contact IPA's REST API. So it's going through HTTP. Okay, all right. And if we look at the documentation for that, Python 3 IPA, that's here. Oh no, not that one. Thank you. No, yes, Python 3 IPA. Okay, that's the library that we are using. It has docs. And as you can see, you can create the client meta using ipa.demo1.freeipa.org. Like you can use a string to initialize it, but you can also use a list. Where's the documentation for the client? Oh, it would be nice to have a table of matters here. Table of contents, that would be great. We don't, it's fine. What's the init? It's not documented. Okay, that's a bit too bad, but yeah. By default, we try to find the IPS server using the FQDN of the host trying to connect to an IPS server. You can manually specify a domain here. For DNS service discovery, you need to have the SRV lookup module instead. Well, I may just need to do that. Use DNS lookup. Let's see how it works in the code actually. So I have my client right here. And that's the init part. Okay, so I have hosts. Host can be a list. It should be able to be a list, at least in theory. Oh no, that's why I pick one of them. Okay, so I create my client using the result of choose server, and choose server gives me a list. All right. I can't use the library's DNS resolution because I want to have some control on which server it's going to connect to. And the reason for that is that I'm storing the session with IPA in the client's cookie. Well, it's encrypted, but I'm storing it there. And as a result, when I have a session with an IPA server, I want the client, and I give that to the client. I want the client to be able to reuse it. Client being the web browser that is a client of Noggin, right? So I'm opening a ticket. Hey, Lisa, glad you're back. Just to yet. So this choose server function in Noggin is picking a free IPS server from the list using random from the list of available servers in the configuration. We have seen that the client is able to do DNS resolution by itself, DNS discovery, but we don't want to use that feature because when Noggin connects to IPA, it gets the Noggin client inside Noggin. Well, let's say the IPA client inside Noggin gets a session from IPA, right? And that session is then transmitted to the browser, so the client of the Noggin application, so that the client can reuse that session during multiple calls instead of opening a new session each time, right? That said, this session is only valid on one IPA server. It's not valid on all the servers. So, when we've given the session to the consumer, to the Fedora user, when we've given them a session, we want them to always go to the same IPA server with that session. All right, and that's done here. I first look when I want to choose my server. I first look at the Noggin IPA server hostname that I have in the session, so in the cookies, and use that if it's there, right? And if it's not there, I set it. So I don't want the library to do the DNS resolution by itself. I want to have some control over what goes on in there. So I'm going to do the DNS resolution myself. But I think that this library has already listed the library that I could use. And that is SRV lookup. So apparently SRV lookup is a library to do DNS SRV lookups, surprisingly. Where is this? Ah, yeah, that's here. Okay, it's protected against import errors. It's fine. We can just use that unless there's a much better library, but I'm not sure really that it's anything better than that. Python DNS SRV lookup. I'm pretty sure it's going to give me a SRV lookup. Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine. We should use that one. Is it rather recent? Yeah, I mean 2022 for something that doesn't need to evolve a lot. I think it's fine. Let's use that. Okay. So I'm going to add a new dependency to Noggin. And for that, since Noggin's dependencies are managed by Poetry, I'm going to do that in the terminal using Poetry. So it is a Poetry add SRV lookup. Is that an S? There's an S at the end or not? No, just SRV lookup. Do it. And I see that it's picking up version 3.00. Since there is since there's nil on the chat here, I'm going to do an extra check and make sure that this version 3 is not, yeah, it's 2022. I want to make sure that I'm not depending on something that is only in 3, because otherwise it's going to make Noggin harder to package for older distributions. So first, let me check is there any, let me check the documentation or like the change logs. What caused them to do version 3? Move to Python 3.7 plus only. That's fine, I guess. What changed in the API? Querying for TCP, that's fine. Type annotation, all good. GitHub action from, yeah. Okay, I think I can use version 2 and the API will be kind of similar. Okay, you know what? Let's make us compatible with version 2 and up. So PyProject is here. It should have my new SRV lookup here. Let's just say that I want something that is either 2 or 3. Let's relax it a bit. That should make the job easier for packages. And now, not Noggin, poetry, lock. Regenerate the log file, please. And install. To make sure that I'm not using hey Crossbow, how you doing? To make sure that I'm not using an API that is too recent, I'm gonna downgrade SRV lookup. Pip install downgrade. Hey Falcon, how are you doing? SRV lookup inferior to 3.00. Please. So I'm not sure downgrade actually exists. Oh yeah. Poetry run. Wait, what? Oh, that's the wrong environment. Okay. It's the old environment on Python 3.11. Activate the new one, please. No, not working. That's a bit too bad. Off this morning so I can watch you fix them this week. No, I'm not going to touch, well, it's kind of related actually. The mess from this week has been fixed. I think it has been fixed. At least it should have been. I fixed one of the last issues, hopefully this morning, my morning, so during your night, that would prevent new registered users from logging in. And hopefully it's now all good. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's use, not active. Use. No? Not use? Huh. Really? Why? The Python executable to use. Okay. Glorious roles post in Matrix about that. Yeah. I'm gonna remove. Why? I'm gonna remove this environment. Okay. And now hopefully if I close this terminal and create a new one. New terminal. Okay. So, poetry, where was I? Oh yeah, poetry lock no update. Yeah, so it's been really complicated week for us. But the good thing is that we've relayed we've worked pretty much around the clock using people in different time zones to try and fix this thing. But I think it's fixed now. Okay, poetry run pip install. Oh, I have that. I probably should have that in my, yeah. Downgrade, yeah, okay. Maybe it's not downgrade. Right, so it's using a previous version of SRV lookup, and hopefully I'm not going to use an API that is too recent. Gonna fix GC40? Yep. And resume the mass rebuild? Yep, absolutely. That was lots of complication. Anyway, so we have SRV lookup. Okay, so how do you use that thing? SRV lookup. Give me the documentation, please. Pretty simple, import it, then do SRV lookup.lookup. That should be sufficient. All right, let's see if that actually works. What's the name of the thing? Lookup, yeah. Import SRV lookup. And ideally, so thing is here, it's still the same. Get the server from the session, if there's one, and now available servers, instead of picking from the configuration, is going to make the lookup. Oh, yeah, my computer is slow because for some reason, GNOME shell is taking 100% CPU. I don't know why, but I don't want to really restart GNOME shell right now because that would be a bad idea. So SRV lookup.lookup, all right. What is API memcached? So what are the arguments for this thing? Hosts, protocol, and domain name. Oh, let's try it on the command line. Not Python like this, but poetry run Python. Okay, import SRV lookup. You should just switch to KDE Plasma. Maybe, and it will be a bit too late to switch to KDE Plasma as well for the same reasons. So SRV lookup dot lookup. Okay, so what are my arguments here? I don't know, and the documentation is kind of sparse. What do you want me to use for the API, please? So lookup, okay, first is name. So I guess right, TCP, that's fine. And name is the name of the service name. Okay, so service name is LDAP, that's for sure. Or should I put LDAP or LDAP without the underscore? Ah, yeah, it adds the underscore, I can see that. So LDAP, fine. Protocols TCP is fine, and I think I will have to specify the domain name because otherwise it's going to, I think, use the one from, it's using get domain. Get domain is using my host name. Unfortunately, I don't think that the pods in OpenShift have fully qualified domain names. So I'm gonna have to put that in the configuration somewhere. Okay, so let's see if that works. It fails because it doesn't have an LDAP record, I think, because from outside you can't see that. Yeah, you can see those from outside. Hey Dominic, you don't have a second monitor. Will it be much easier to always switch tabs? That's a good question. So there's only one monitor that I'm switching, that I'm displaying on Twitch. I do have a second monitor, but I only open that for, actually it's not a second monitor, it's my laptop screen, and I only open it for Twitch sessions. I've tried to use double monitors to develop for, I think for years, and I've never really found it usable, for me at least. It's very useful sometimes when you need to like compare things, but most of the time I will be typing things and the focus will be on the wrong screen, or like I want to switch application and I end up on something else because I need to look at the other screen to see the application that I wanted to switch to. It's I don't know. I've never really found it very practical to work on two different screens, but it's also rather recent that I've had two screens because those were most expensive back in the days. So yeah, I'm really used to alt tabbing between applications. So yeah, I guess as long as you're used to something. So SRV lookup right here will be, at least whenever I have two screens, I always find myself having issues with alt tabbing for one application on one screen and then finding it on the other one, or like moving things. It's yeah, nope. I can't get myself to use it. Hard time working without two screens. Huh. Yeah, my laptop screens is restricting because it's too small. But having two different screens is opening a different kind of worms, and it's really not practical. Use Workspace to get around that problem. I do use workspaces already. There's like one workspace for my browsers. I have two of them. There's one workspace for Visual Studio Code, and there's one workspace for other things. Like I have different workspaces here in GNOME, and I use them to group my applications, but it's not really, yeah. So when are you switching to KDE? When I have nothing better to do. When I have nothing more urgent on my plate. I don't really see a way to capitalize on workspaces. All right. I use KDE against my will. Yeah, when I have nothing better to do is pretty much the equivalent of les calendes grecques, as we say in French, which is the reference to a holiday that existed in Rome but not in Greece. So the Greek calendar means never, and it's pretty much the equivalent of never. Yeah, really, I much prefer having one screen, and I don't even use. I always have my applications full screen. Like I don't even use part of the screen. I've worked from a place where the person who lived there used like an entire TV as a screen, as a computer screen, and it didn't make sense to have everything full screen because then your head will be traveling everywhere Yeah, quand les poules vont avoir des dents. Quand les poules auront des dents in French. Quand les poules auront des dents. That also means never, actually, yeah, in French. Yeah. So when chicken will have teeth, basically. Yeah, so he had an entire TV screen to use as a monitor, and it was still hard for me to have applications that were not full screen because then I need to move them around, and I'm not used to moving windows around. I have everything open full screens. I don't know, like it's really a question of habit, I think, at that point. So LDAP. And I want to be able to specify my domain. So I'm gonna need something from the configuration anyway, right? So config, do I have something about my domain already? Yeah, not really. I don't. Nope. So it's going to be free IPA domain, I think. Okay, let me get back to that. Or I use middle left right to snap the windows. Yes, I've only been using that recently. It's really not, it's very useful, but I'm not used to it. I forget about it most of the time, even if I have to compare two things. Yeah. So app.config.freeIPA domain, and I'm going to have a default maybe in the, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a default. That makes sense. Here. And this default is going to be using the domain from the FQDN host name, from your FQDN host name. So that, because we're not all using, I mean, Noggin is used elsewhere as besides Fedora, so I don't want to break things for other people. Free API domain here is going to have the same default. And then we're going to be able to specify it differently for us because the pods in OpenShift don't have that. Okay, tiling is something I don't get myself. Yeah. We're starting to see an infancy of HDR support in Linux, and I can't wait. I've never really used that, but I guess that's because it doesn't exist on Linux yet. Maybe I'll find that extremely useful when it's actually there. We'll see. So free API domain, all right. I'm going to use my free API domain here. Oh yeah, that's not the second argument. Second argument is the protocol, and I'm looking for domain right here. So domain. Okay, so that should give us a list of SRV records. And I see that I can get an SRV query failure, and I don't want to propagate that one. So I'm going to try and accept. Query failure. I'm surprised that it doesn't pick it up. SRV query failure. Did I mistype something? SRV. Ah, okay. How do you pronounce it? SRV or SRV, or should I? because as I hear record means doesn't mean much actually. It's the accent. SRV or SRV. Okay, SRV. Okay, and I was saying what yeah, okay, right. Okay, SRV. That's fine. Gotta get used to that. Thanks. Okay, so if I can't query it, then I consider that I have no available servers, and I hope that something is going to break down the line if I have no servers, maybe. Because it's gonna run random choice from nothing, and it's going from an empty list. What happens when you run get random choice? Does it return them ordered? That's one of the questions that I have. Sorted by, okay, that's perfect, by priority and weight. Okay. Yeah, last time I thought, I'm much better now. It's been a while already. I think it's been like 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm much better. I mean, everything's gone. I was wondering if I had COVID. I don't think it was that. I can't really tell because I heard that I did an antigen test, but they're really weak. They're really not really efficient at discovering COVID. Also, I heard, but that might be a rumor, that the more recent variants take more time to be detected by antigen tests because they take more time to go up to the nose and the area where you actually do the test. So instead of waiting like 1 or 2 days, you have to wait like 3 or 4. And I may have done my tests too early, so that might be a reason why for a false negative. That said, the timing, like the symptoms and the timing of the symptoms, really felt like it was one of the common colds that I got before COVID even existed. And it was like really, it didn't really look like COVID. Like there was really this, I mean, it's not a very scientific reason, but I really felt like it was the exact symptoms that I have when I call a common cold before. So don't think it was that, but I'm all good now. It returns them sorted, so I just pick the first one. Yes, last time I had COVID, it wasn't really the exact same symptoms. I mean, I've had, so for a long time, I've had colds that had the exact same symptoms, always like with the same timing, like a bit of a fever one day, and then running nose for like 2 days, and then stopped, and fever stopped, and for a few days, then I have like nose clogged, and like it was really exact. The symptoms and the timing were really similar to what I used to have. So yeah, I mean, maybe not this time, but I mean, I'm going to force them, so we'll see how that goes. That's gonna be, that's gonna be a different story altogether. Anyway, all right, so it's ordered by, the result is ordered already, so I'm going to just take the first one from the list and not use a random one. So yeah, I'd like to get to a convention at some point, but going from Canada will be expensive. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I'm in France, so it's a matter of taking a train to Paris and then a train to Brussels. I think it's like 4 hours or something, which is totally decent. And I'll have this connection in Paris. So, and on the way, and I'll be like, I'm going to Paris 2 days early. So next Monday, because I have people to see in there, and I'm going to like take a trip from like a train from Paris to Brussels on the Wednesday. So it's going to be really a simple trip. And on the way back, there is a train that goes from Brussels to Nantes directly. I'm taking that. That's going to be cool. So the way back is going to be longer in train because but there's no change, there's no connection, so that's pretty cool. Okay, I think that I should have an exception for when I don't have a server. I feel like I should have my own exception here. If server is none, so I haven't found it in the list, or the server, or in the cookie, or the server that I found in the cookie is not in the available servers, then pick one from the list. So try server equal, well, available servers, first one, and if there's an index error, trains are more rare in Canada than in Europe. But yeah, I'd like to go on a train trip at some point too. Yeah, and the trains that we have in the western part of Europe, I'm not sure about the other one. Doesn't mean that it's not there, but just that I don't know about it. They're pretty fast. It's a TGV, so it's like 300 kilometers per hour. So it takes me 2 hours to go to Paris using that train, while it's a 4-hour trip in the car, maybe 4:30. And then Paris to Brussels is also a fast speed train. So great. That's the way to travel. Except index error. So if I do not have an available server, then I should raise something. Raise no IPA server, maybe? You're pretty spoiled in the Northeast US. Any city I want to get has renewable train connections. That's pretty cool. Yep. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, for shortish distances, it's really much better than flying because like you end up in the center of the city instead of having to go to an airport and then waiting for your luggage and then going back from the airport to the city. And like the trip itself is much shorter if you're flying, of course, but then all the rest around it takes a lot of time. You don't have to go through the airport security. That is, anyway. Yeah, I much prefer trains, and that I'm not even talking about the carbon, the impact. That's, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can, in a train, you can do pretty much whatever you want. I have internet connection for the whole duration of the trip. It's pretty cool. Let's say I wanted to fly from Montreal, where I live. There's a train that goes to Montreal. It goes out from my city on Monday and comes back on Fridays. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't give you a lot of possibilities. I mean, that means either staying quite some that means either knowing friends in Montreal that will host you, or basically taking the car to go to Montreal. Yeah, it's very restrictive. Okay, so let me create my exception. Okay, so if I do not have a server, either because my query failed, or because the server or because there isn't any, it doesn't fail, but it returns an empty list, then I'm going to raise an exception. And if not, I'm storing it in the session. So let's say I live in DC. I frequently have to travel to Boston. There are like 24 trains every single day. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. How long is the trip to Boston from DC in train? Ooh. Oh yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah. 2 hours, 30 minutes in a car from here. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Boston to DC is a whole day. Okay. If you take one of the high-speed trains, it's about 6 hours. Okay. I see. Yeah, 6 hours is doable. I've done that a couple times, going to Barcelona from Paris. It's 6 hours and 30 minutes. So yeah, you need to be well prepared for it, but it works. When I was young, they had night trains, and I think they phased those out. I don't know why, because they were so cool. And like you would get in the train at like 11 or like 10 in the evening and wake up and be at your destination at 8 in the morning. Yeah, okay, the beds weren't extremely comfortable, especially for someone like me who's kind of tall, but it's still so practical. Yep. Yeah. Totally agree with that. Yeah, on planes, as yes. Okay, so my function now does an SRV lookup, returns a server, and sometimes raise an exception. So I want to make sure that I'm catching that exception in the right place. So who uses true server? Untouched IPA client uses that. I'll check that later. Maybe IPA session does this. Okay, that's interesting. So who uses maybe IPS session? Who uses maybe IPS session? I think that I'm using that in a decorator. What happens when it fails? It returns none. Okay, that's cool. Okay, that's good. That means that if I want to do that, I can wrap it. No IPA server and return none. Okay, none is if no session was provided or was provided but invalid. Cool. Yeah, plane is faster for long distances, basically. That's it. I mean, there are places also for distances where there is no train. I mean, no. Like, for example, if I want to go to Prague, or that, at least that's a big city, but like when I want to go, if I want to go to Brno, it's doable by train, but it's extremely complex. Like you have to take 4 of them, and each time you take and if you have like a 3 connection trip, then that's 3 places where things can break because you miss a train, because one train is late, because for whatever reason. And so even though it's not very far, and I think it would be doable by a direct train, whenever the train is not direct, then it's makes things much harder. And it's much more tempting to use a plane then. Thankfully, I don't have to do that too often. Okay, so that's maybe APA session, maybe APA login right here is also returning none if it's wrong, if it's not good. So no IPA server, return none. I should log something. I mean, it's not. I should log something. Do I have a logger here? Oh, apparently I don't. Okay. Do I have a reference to my app? I think I do. Yes. Okay, so I can do that. App.logger. I think it's app.logger. Let me check that. Yes, app.logger. etc. etc. So it's going to be an error, I think. Montreal to DC. Okay. Montreal to DC, 19 hours of train. But yeah, $82, that's really not bad. But if you have to add the hotel somewhere, because it's not direct, right? It can be direct, or can it? Is it a direct connection? Like, is it a direct train? It can be direct. Like, you can stay 19 hours in a train. Or I'm pretty sure that they won't have the same driver for 19 hours at least. Yeah. So you'll have to add hotels for the different connections, I suppose, to that number. But it's doable, so. Okay. So who's using untouched IPA client? Untouched IPA client. Used in authentication right here. It's used in many places. And yeah, it's really expecting the value not to be none. It's catching bad requests. That's good. Okay, maybe I can do that. So it's catching bad request right here. No IPA server. So it's already catching exceptions. So it's catching this. Except no IPA server. Yes. No IPA. Oh, I should put that in the message, no? Yeah, I should put that in the message. Probably. At least if I put that in the message, at least the translators will only have to translate it once. Yeah, that's preferable. Okay. No IPA server available. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, this part isn't supposed to be knowing so much about Flask, really. So I don't want to import that thing for like Flask Babel from there. Right, let's not translate it here. Let's not do that here. And hopefully the translation system will be able to recognize that it's the exact same text and translate it and only have it translated once, maybe? Hopefully, we'll see. Okay. Who's using that? This one. Validate change password form. I can catch that here as well. So that's form non-field errors append. No IPS server available. Done. Okay. And I need to import that, of course. So it's code here. Good. And is it code in there? No, but who's calling that? It's always called invalidate on submit. So I think I could raise no IPS server. I think I could raise form error. So the sub says, my father, man in his late 60s, has been teaching himself Python for God knows what reason. And he was telling me the other day how excited he was when he learned about try except blocks because he has been permanently been a Perl guy. Ah, yes. I look at this bit on my hand and just think C++ is so much better. Yeah. So what do you like on C++ better than on Python, for example? Give me a few examples here. I don't know C++, so I'm entirely biased here. But yeah, I'm curious. I like the rigid structure of it. Okay, I like that you have to do more things yourself. It's more hands-on. It was also one of my first programming languages, so my brain grew up on C++. That's good reasons. Yeah, that's good reasons. I suppose that Python can feel a bit of a free fall when you're used to strongly typed languages. And if you want to learn Python, I would recommend having a look at something called MyPy, which is a static type checker. So it will it will enforce type annotations that are optional in Python, but that you could put throughout your code. And it will tell you if you are trying to pass something to a function that doesn't expect it, like all these type errors. So yeah, if you like to have this seatbelt on, then yeah, MyPy would be the way to go on Python. I think I'm gonna go and use with handle form errors right here. So I can raise the error invalidate more easily. There you go. Okay, that's a lot of code that has been added to it, but I think that's how all the calls to Untouched API client are going to be handled. That's good. Still a good thing. This one is catching it. It's catching in here. Good. You're a scientific computing person. Anything I would need Python for, I already do in R. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a feature of Python that you wouldn't have think so, but that's good. Yeah, when you come from Perl, I mean, that's a bit of a change. Yep. So here we have someone doing an untouched API client. That's good. Is it catching the error? No, it's not. It's not catching the possibility that there isn't any IPA server available. All right, which is fair. I mean, we've never really cared about that before, but let's change that. That means we'll have to do a lot of unit tests, but that's how it is, I guess. Free IPA error, and I'm gonna use another one right here. Form error. Do I raise the form error in the same way as I do with the rest? Kinda. Yeah, okay. It's able to raise form errors right here. That's good. Oh, you haven't marked those for translation. Okay. I should have. Of course, that's not going to cut it. No IPA server right here. All right, so what do I have here? This wasn't marked for translation, please. What else do I change? That should have been translated. That's all the untouched IPA client. Yes, that's all of it. What about this one? Aha, you need to mark those from translation. Thank you very much. This one is marked, and that's all for this one. Okay, legislation. It is handled because I just did it. Yes, good. What else? That's the definition of the function. Authentication. Yes, it's not handled here. Let's do it in... Wait, what? What is this? Where does this code come from? That's weird. Looks like I have extracted the... Yeah. Delete. spec parts. Not sure what that is. Oh yeah, that comes from when I was trying to fix packets. Okay. And then conf test, that's fine. Okay, I think that's all we have. That's all the calls to untouched IPA client that were done. Were there calls to maybe IPA session? I'm pretty sure that there was something, but it's already handled here. Okay, I think that we've covered all the places where the exception might bubble up. Save that, thank you. Okay. Okay. Random imported but unused, but yeah, of course. That's not used anymore. Okay. So that's handled the case where there is no SRV servers, and then I get the server from this list, and I think that's all. So I'm pretty sure that there's tons of places where it's gonna fail. I need to update the unit tests. So unit tests for this function are in test security test IPA. All right. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to import no IPA server. Okay, test2 server, that's the function that we've changed. Cool. It's trying to patch random, but that's not what we're trying to patch now. I'm going to patch SRV lookup. Oh, by the way, the result of SRV lookup is not a list of string, it's a list of records. So I need to change that. Yes, available server is going to be, it's going to be a list of records here. That's the documentation shows. SRV, host, port, blah, blah, blah. I want the name, so the record is a name tuple. All right, so it's going to be a host. Which makes me wonder if I'm here and I want to change, it's accepting a host. Can it be, can it change the ports, or is it, huh. Yeah, it doesn't look like it supports different ports anyway. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Will not support it either. So record.host for record in blah 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 blah. Okay, that should be better. Okay, and in my test, I want to mock that, right? So I'm going to patch SRV lookup, but here from SRV lookup, import SRV. I'm going to patch it and say that SRV lookup. Well, no, not really. SRV lookup mock dot lookup, that's the function. Side effect equal, yeah, okay. Well, no, it's the return value here. return value equal to SRV host equal this. Same thing for the rest. Well, because I'm lazy. Because I'm lazy. Clap along if you feel like I'm really a lazy bastard. All right. That's right below the text. Can't read that. Move it. Okay. Okay, so I have the SRV lookup, SRV records now. Yeah, I thought so. Black wouldn't be happy with that. Okay, it's mocked. And now if I do this, I should get the first one, right? And if I do it a second call, it should be the first result again, yeah. Except, right. Yeah, so I want a side effect actually. Yes, I want the result to be different so that make sure that I'm reusing the same thing. So it's actually a side effect. Side effect, and that's the list of the results that I'm going to get. And that's a list of one element. Yes, I think that's correct. So I want to mark a return of only one element. That will be A, B, and C, right? So I want to check that after the second call, it's still the same thing. And I want to make sure that I have called this only once. That's actually a good test. Because then it should be in the cookie and it should be reused. Okay, that's good. Okay, what happens if I have no session? Then same stuff. I'm mocking it and I want the same thing apparently. Huh. Right, because I don't have a session at that point. Do I need to mock? Do I always mock the same thing? Because if I do, I can put a fixture. Oh, that's the only two places. Okay, good. I'm going to do a fixture. PyTest. Ooh, nice. PyTest.fixture. Def SRV lookup mock. I use mocker. And I'm going to mock it this way. And maybe return it. Where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. It's right. Oh yeah, that's just my computer being extremely slow. Return SRV lookup. SRV lookup mock. Okay, good. So here I don't have to mock the same thing over again. So this time I can store it, so it's going to get me to the second. It's going to get me the second value, and I want to mock to test that my mock was actually called twice. Okay. So now, right. I want to I want to have SRV lookup. I want to have SRV lookup mock. I'm not going to change that. I'm going to set in the session something that is not in the list. So it's going to be a D, right? I have A, B, or C in my lists. I'm going to use something different. Well, I could have used anything actually because it's only returning a list of one. So, okay, anyway, choose it, and it's going to return the first value from the config, which is A. Not from the config, from the lookup. Choose not in lookup then. I don't need mocker anymore. All good. I could check that it's been called as well. Okay, let me run the test and see if that's correct. Yeah, it's unused. That's fine. I'm going to test the. I'm going to test one more thing here. So let's say dev test choose server no server client SRV lookup mock, and I want to change that SRV lookup mock dot lookup dot side effect equal either empty list or an exception. Both would work. Let's do an empty list. And maybe a return value that the empty list. Yeah. Not sure if I need to do that. Or side effect maybe should be none. None maybe, and the return value is an empty list. Okay, and now when I call it, I expect with pytest.raises no IPA server choose server current app. Okay. All right, let us test this now. We're going to run the tests that begin with test choose server. I'm going to run that in the terminal because I'm used to it. Noggin tox-l. What do I have? I have Python 3.10 unit test. And I want to only run the test called test choose server. Do it. Total failure. Okay, I can't have that. Okay, that's fine. I need port, priority, weight, and host name. And that's called host name, right? So my mock was wrong. It's host name, and I need port equals something that I'm not going to use. What else? Priority equals 0, weight equals 0. Hopefully that's going to work better now. It fails and it's host. Oh, it's host? It needs host and host name? That's weird. Oh yeah, it needs host and host name. Oh, host is an IP address. And host name is the full, is the FQDN. Huh. Well, then maybe I should use the host name in my code, by the way. Not the IP address. I should use the host name. Nice. Okay. Here. Host equal. No place like home. And save the other file as well. Thank you very much. And now run it. So something fails. Aha. Test to server failed. It gave me B. Okay. Yes. Yes, that is normal. That's because, right. That's because on the second call, the answer was a list of one element that was B. Okay, so that's because my mocking is wrong then. Here I'm going to all right. Servers equal this. And the answer is going to be a list. Huh. What should I do here? A list of one element? I'm just gonna mock the entire thing, okay? That's gonna be a list of all of them. That's not what my test expects. Wait, let me make something to make my life easier. Make SRV name, right, and return this. So that's gonna make my life easier. Okay, so here that's what actually going. That's what actually happening here. Okay, so here I want. That's correct. Then here, what's going on here? Okay. That's not as easy as it looks. I want this to return something in different order the second time, right? Right, so I want... So I want this side effect to be, okay, first time you have... Okay, first thing is, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make things easier. That's the first call. Gotta get a nice hanging out with you. Yeah, it was nice. Thanks for passing by. We'll see you next week, actually. That's gonna be fun. All right, see you soon. All right, what else do we have? So I want to have, like, my first answer is gonna be AB, and my second answer is gonna be BA. Right? And then I can test. Then I can test that the first call is A and the second call is still A because I've recorded it. And here I have the same issue apparently. I know what, actually I'm gonna just make that the generic mock right here. There, and here I am using something that is not in the lookup. Cool. Okay, this should work now. Let's see. Failed again. What's going on this time? Been called 2 times. Yes. Yeah, it must have. It must have because it's called the first. It's called each time to validate that it's actually in the list. Okay, so that's normal. So this has to be called each time actually to validate that it's in the list. And what is this? Not in lookup. Called once. No server called once. So that's fine. Okay, that passed now. Let's run the entire test suite and see where there are gaps in the coverage. Ooh. Something didn't really go as planned. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the mocking, yes. Yes, of course. Yeah. It's all calling, making DNS calls, and they fail. That's for sure. Right. I am going to use this fixture. Make SRV is not used elsewhere, is it? Yeah. Embed that here. Okay. So this fixture I'm actually going to use in a more generic part because I don't want SRV records to be emitted. So this here, free IPA servers, that's gonna have to change. All the reference to that need to go away. And there's of course one in the tests. Fine. I'm going to move that to the more generic fixture. Right from SRV lookup import SRV. This one is in the session, so I do not need that. I need IPA, free IPA domain though. Domain. Noggin.test. And it's not a list. Cool. And now my app, it's a session thing again. I think my client though should be, yeah, okay. So client is going to need SRV lookup mock. So it's going to be used every time there's a client. That's good. And the default mock is going to be, well, whatever that is. It used to be Noggin or IPA.noggin.test. Was that it? It used to be IPA.noggin.test. Okay, I want to keep that. I want to keep that because I have tests that need to be run in the infra. So I'm going to keep those for my specific tests in test IPA. Okay, and of course I need mock SRV to be more widely available. Now. Okay, and here. Is it in utils maybe? Do I have a utils thing? Do I have a test utilities? Yes, thank you. I'm gonna move that to utils. X, move it to utilities. Make SRV, and I'm going to move my import as well. Okay. And then in conf test, I need to import it properly. Right. Okay, I'm getting there. Right, and my mock.lookup have to be return value make SRV IPA.noggin.test. Okay, I think we're good here. Okay. Test IPA. Right. From where am I here? Units. Okay, that's where unit is. And that is okay. Okay. So my call to my call to choose server should return the same thing as before now. I think so. Let us try it. And while it's running, I'm going to check the references to the old configuration value and fix it. Domain. Noggin.test. And here. Domain. Okay. So how did my test go? 212 errors. That's all good. No IPS server. Okay, that's a lot of errors. I should put some login here. Okay, I do have some log now. Let's see it fail. Beam. Okay. Okay, it's still trying to make calls. But I mocked it. I thought I mocked it. Oh, that's an IPA admin. No, it's not. Oh, that's in stock obsession. Okay, so it doesn't have it yet. Good. Okay, yeah. That's my scope session. So it hasn't called my other scope yet. Okay, I'm gonna mock it myself. What do I have at the session level here? PA testing config, certainly not. Huh. What is it? Okay. Lean 130. IPA testing config. Yeah, okay. So IPA admin. Right. And it's importing IPA admin, so I suppose it's getting an okay. Maybe IPA admin session, that's where it fails. Okay. Well, I need to mock it. What if I do... So I need app here. Maybe I should need to mock it in app already. Yeah, I think so. If I do an SRV lookup mock here, it's going to be unhappy because that's different scopes, right? I think it's going to fail because I'm calling a session scoped. Oh, maybe not. Yep. I tried to access a function scope feature with a session scope object, function object. Yep. Okay, it's failing. Yeah, that makes more sense. That's fine. I can have another mock. Actually, I'm gonna make one. Here, I'm gonna mock it. That's my default value, right? It should make things easier. It should work now this time. Oh, it's kind of late. Scope mismatch. Oh, so mocker is okay, cool. All right, that's fine. I can't use mocker. Oh, there's mocker session maybe. PyTest mocker. Right, there's PyTest mock documentation, and I think that there is a mocker. Yes, session mocker. Right. Maybe I should do the same thing actually. It's called that class mocker, module mocker, package. Okay. Let's call that the session SRV lookup mock. That's easier. So it's using session mocker, scope equals session. Okay, I think there's a bit of repeating things here, which is not nice. But do I really want to do that? Okay. Okay, you got me. Okay, that's fine. And so here I'm going to return mock SRV lookup. No, mock SRV lookup. That's sufficient. Mock SRV lookup with mocker. And here I'm going to do return mock SRV lookup with session mocker. All right, no repeating. You happier? Good. What's going on? Working off style request context. Wait, what? Wait, what? Where is it fading? Expecting a function with signature, blah, 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 blah. Oh, what's that? Internal error. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Huh. Wait, what? Oh, hey. Right. Otherwise, it's using the session from... Oh yeah, it's using session from Flask. That's terrible. Okay, yeah, that was... Okay, that was weird. Try again now. Ah, that's much better. Still errors, but that's fine. What do we have here? Request exception. Right, because it's detecting calls that it's not expecting, I suppose. I should rebuild all the... Oh yeah, that's going to take a long time. So what I should do is rebuild all the cassettes. Yes. That's going to take a while. I should do that because I'm pretty sure that there are calls being made. Or are there? Is that the only one? If that's the only one, then I don't need to do that. I'm just going to look at why it's not behaving as the rest. Maybe it's the only one. Maybe I don't need to rebuild all the cassettes. Okay, that's another one that fails. So I thought that it would be easy, but it's not actually that easy. Because I'm now taking into account the fact that there might be no IPS servers, and I totally ignored that fact before, which means that I have to do tests for controllers that now need to handle that exception, etc., etc. But it's pretty good. I mean, still pretty good. Do I have a coverage report? Do it, please. Blah, 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 blah. Right. And now I see that I have a missing line here, and probably some in the controllers, yeah, as I expected. Okay, let me look at that. That's really small. Okay, so I have a missing line in IPA, not covered. And that is... Right. I haven't checked that. I haven't tried to do a maybe IPA session and get no response and make sure that I get a no. That's easy. That's pretty easy. This is more uncovered. Yes. I haven't tested that OTP sync with no IPA server. I need to test that, of course. I don't think that should be the only one. No, is it? That's okay. In password, yeah, same stuff. Need to check what happens when I get the right message when there's no IP server. Okay, you know what? I'll do that next time, or another time, depending on what you choose next time, because it's 5:22 here, and I've been at this for like 2 hours 22 already, so I'm gonna stop here. But basically, everything is ready. So I have a project I need to rebuild. There's a console component written in .NET 4.0 and another that is ASP.NET 4.0 web app. Been thinking constant .NET Core 6, but I was thinking it'd be a constant game of getting caught up. Maybe again bite the bullet and get to learn Python. So doing a web app in Python is not hard, depending. Well, the common parts of the web app are not hard. There's a ton of people who have done that. Like, it's really not rocket science. But I'm not sure it's going to solve your problem entirely. In the sense that you will still have to play catch up with the different versions of the framework that you use. Like, for example, if you use Flask, which is what most of our web applications in Fedora use. If you use that, then there are upgrades to Flask, and at some point there is a Flask.3 that has come out last year, and it's not a gigantically breaking change, but it's there. So there are still some versions that you will have to follow if you go the Python route. Another way of seeing it would be that you will get to learn Python and Flask, and that you'll be able to contribute to other Fedora infrastructure applications. So if you want to take that opportunity to learn Python, then cool, that's a good opportunity. It's always better to have a hands-on experience on something that you actually want to work on instead of just following tutorials. But if you think that it's going to save you from following upgrades to libraries and to frameworks, etc., I don't know. I'm not sure because I don't know the .NET environment and frameworks and libraries and all that. So I don't really know them so well. Maybe they upgrade frequently, maybe they don't, I don't know. But there's definitely some upgrades on the Python world as well. Okay. All right, so I just need to do this unit test thing, and then it'd be done. I'm going to do it another time. And just come in. You're welcome. Any questions are very welcome, so it's all good. Okay, I think that's all. Let me check my things. Yes. Yeah, it's been a while already. All right. Well, I hope you had a good time and and got to chat with people here. That was really cool to see so much action in the chat and people talking with each other, even though it's about trains and planes, which is cool. That's an interesting subject. And I hope I see you next time. Oh yeah, next time I'll be at FOSDEM. So next Friday is going to be, I'm not going to be able to do this because I'll be at FOSDEM. But the Friday after that, I'll be back. So first Friday in February. No, wait, is it February? Or is it the first, or is it? Wait. What's the plan? Okay, so next Friday is the 2nd, and the Friday after that is going to be the day I'm back. Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, TikTok style with my cell phone. I'm like, hey, look at my screen. Okay, there's a lot of moire and it's really unreadable, but I'm here. Look at so many people crammed into the same room. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. We're all overcrowded and anyway. It's the first time I go to FOSDEM, so I don't really know how it's going to be, except by other people's reports of things being overcrowded or everywhere. So I'm kind of anticipating that. Maybe I'll see you at FOSDEM, maybe not. In any case, I'll see you in 2 weeks then. Have a good one. See ya.